Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us this morning as we all gather to celebrate the life of Mr. H. If I can ask the congregation to please stand as we welcome the family in. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming. To the RATSHEFOLA family, thank you for gracing us with your presence today. To our dignitaries, you're recognized. Thank you for joining us today. To our clients, partners, Gijima mates, and people of industry. My name is Roberta Gumede. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of Gijima. I'm joined by my co-host.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Moleboge Lekwani. I'll be co-hosting and directing the program with Roberta Gumede.
And to start off today, we really wanted to give ourselves an opportunity to celebrate the great work that Mr. H has done, the many lives he's touched, the many businesses he's turned around, and the infectious energy he's brought into our industry. Today is a day of celebration. Today is an opportunity for us to look back at what he's done, to be inspired by it, and to be able to pay it forward ourselves as we go out into industry. To kick us off in our agenda, can I please ask the pastor to do us an opening prayer? Thank you so much.
Pastor Mkonto.
You are Alpha and Omega. We worship you, our Lord. You are worthy to be praised. You are the Alpha. You are and Omega. We worship you. We worship you, our Lord. You are worthy to be praised. We give you all the glory. We give you all the glory. We worship you. We worship our Lord. You are worthy to be praised. The RATSHEFOLA family, Gijima family, headed by Mr. R. Gumede, cabinet ministers who might be here with us this afternoon, heads of corporate industries, friends and loved ones, all protocol observed. Standing in front of you is Pastor Sipho Michael Mkonto of the Door of Hope Family Church. Before I pray, allow me to read a scripture shortly in the book of Revelation chapter 14, and I am going to read verse 13 only, which goes as follows. Then I heard a voice from heaven say, "Write, blessed are the dead who die in the Lord from now on. Yes, says the Spirit of the Lord. They will rest from their labor, for their deeds will follow them." Brothers and sisters, I chose to read this scripture this afternoon as we celebrate the life of our brother Hamilton RATSHEFOLA, because we know him as a man who chose to serve Jesus Christ whilst he was still on this earth. He followed Jesus Christ without any fear nor favor. He is a man who was always committed in doing the work of God. So without any doubt, we strongly believe that we as the Christian family, that our brother Hamilton RATSHEFOLA is now resting with the Lord. Let us pray. Compassionate and gracious Jesus, I lift the family and friends of the deceased to you. Touch them with your mighty hand and help them to find healing in you. Wrap your arm of love around them that they may not be filled with grief. Bless those who mourn, eternal God, with the comfort of your love, that they may face each new day with hope and certainty that nothing can destroy the good that has been given. May their memories become joyful, their days enriched with friendship, and their lives enriched by your love. In Jesus' name we believe and pray. Amen.
Ke a leboga Ntate Moruti. You may be seated. You can't help yourself when you stand on a podium to greet you all in the name of Jesus Christ, particularly as we remember a man of God in the stature of Mr. H. I'm going to introduce to you a man who, ka Setswana re re, bantshana se se mo inong, one who probably shared most of his secrets with, Nhlanhla Khoza, to welcome you all on this sad day, but one which hopefully will be a celebration of a fully lived life. Mr. Khoza.
Good afternoon all. My name is Nhlanhla Khoza. I have worked with Mr. H at Gijima. He was an inspirational leader. First, I want to welcome the ministers that we have in the house. Also welcome our chairman, the Kuma Group, and the founder of Gijima. And also would like to welcome the family and also appreciate them gracing us for us to come and celebrate the industry leader that we had. What also we like to share as a symbol that as Gijima we felt when we interacted with Mr. H, how we fondly known him. We lit the candles because Mr. H was a kind of a person that he was a candle that was moving across everywhere, wherever he goes. And he was a candle that didn't mind lighting other candles because he knew that lighting the other candle will not take his shine away. Without further ado, I will also welcome all our distinguished guests and also those who are joining us online. And I'll say, let's celebrate Mr. H, his life and times within the ICT industry, and all the impact that he has made. I thank you.
Mori, Mori, Boga, Wena, Toste, Zweki. Come on, celebrate together with us if you know the song. Mori, Mori, Boga, Wena, Toste,
For those abaziZulu, leculo lithi uNkulunkulu sibonga wena ukuthi usihlanganisile, sibonga wena ukuthi wasipha uBaba Hamilton, sibonga wena ukuthi usipha impilo, silondolozile, sicuna nawe. Ladies and gentlemen, some housekeeping for today. If I can ask that everyone can please have their phone on silent. While I understand that it's a Thursday, I would like us to respect and appreciate the event today. Bathrooms are exit towards the right. You have the ladies and gents. Refreshments will be served throughout by the ladies in black and gold. If you need anything, please put your hand up and one of them will come to you. To go to our next speaker, I'd like to introduce a man who's been courting. Mr. H for a good 25 years. When they first met, they instantly clicked, and he knew that this is a leader he wanted to collaborate with. To give a sight of that journey, I'd like to introduce the chairman and founder of Gijima, Mr. Robert Gumede.
Good morning to the RATSHEFOLA family. What a journey. What a week. What a day. When we are now all gathered here to celebrate a life well lived, a life of a giant, a tower, an ethical man, a leader par excellence, a titan, Indlovu, and an elephant, a towering giraffe who can see the future, a human leader, a game changer, a loving husband, and a loving father, an ICT sector boffin, a guru, a Gijima visionary, an inspirational leader, a Moses for Gijima, who was taking Gijima en route to Canaan, the land of honey, a God's servant. We're not here to mourn the passing of Hamilton, but to celebrate his well-lived life of a smart and the most visionary leader that I know. This morning, when I was thinking about a few words that I wanted to share with you of the life I've led with Hamilton and his life with Gijima. And I just remembered that I actually have
Oh, Jesus,
I remembered that on the 24th of February, I spent a day with Hamilton, and I asked my daughter Roberta, who's an MC, a co-MC, to get me the video recording of my speech on that day. When I went through the speech, the recording, I realized that what I wanted to say today, I said it in his presence. And I phoned my wife, who's overseas with our children, to say, you know, it looks like I gave an obituary on the day. And I'd like you to watch the video. You know, the Hamilton that you see today, I met him, you know, you see when he speaks, at that time, he had just come back from America, he was rolling his tongue too much. Listen, Mr. Kumare, you know this thing, you're still crawling, you know, IBM, and oh, I said, oh, this guy. You know, the only other salesman after me is Hamilton. And for every time I met him, or I met his bosses, I will speak to his bosses like he's joining us the next day, hoping that they'll fire him so that I can employ him. The measure of a man is when you tell him that, you know, I've been trying to get you to come to Gijima. And he told me, he said, you know what, Mr. G, I've decided to retire. And I've got my spaza shop that I'm running. And I said, Hamilton, you can't do this to me. Donald Trump is no more president of America. Things have changed. It's time that you come to a South African company. And he said, okay, I'll do it for you, but on the following condition. I'll give you 1 day a week, and I'll work for you for 1 year at no salary. Did you hear me? At no salary. I said, 1 day, good, Hamilton. Let's meet in 2 days' time when I get back. And we met. I said, you know what, Hamilton? You need to go to Gijima. Go and just see the business, meet Mapum, and we can meet after that. And he did. When he came back, I said, you see, what did you find? He says, no, things are looking good, they are promising. This is what should be done and that done. I said, but you see, you can't do it in 1 day, Hamilton. You require 3 days, at least. He said, I'll do it for 2 days. I said, fine. Remember, all I want to grow my chances by 100% every time. And he was giving 2 days. Then we said, you go now and spend a month looking at the business and tell me what you think about the business, what should be done. And now, because he was now engaging with management, he came back telling me more exciting things. And I said, you know, for you to achieve all these things, in 1 year is not enough, let alone in 2 days, Hamilton. You now need to give me more time. Give this, because I knew Hamilton. And he agreed, and now it's a problem. Because Hamilton doesn't want to be paid. And I said, Hamilton, I'm not paying you, I'm paying your wife. That's who I've employed, Hamilton's wife, who gets paid. Let me tell you, there is no client-centric leader that I know. Focus on sales and delivery, like Hamilton. That was in February, which was the last time I saw Hamilton. I spoke to him during the following week, and last week, when Bev shared the news that Hamilton has moved from ICU, I sent a message to my exco. They were celebrating a big win. And we said, this is Ham's job and is dedicated to him. And this is what I said to our clients when we met last week, Thursday, when we hosted a Gijima charity golf day. Hamilton. I met Hamilton, we were sharing offices with IBM in Pretoria. He was working in the public sector. And there I was with my business under Pambili in Pretoria. And we were tendering for a SEPS contract for visual age. And we partnered with IBM. And I was impressed with this guy who's speaking like an American. I thought he was American. Hey man, what? Oh, and I said, this guy is Mr. Smooth. I liked him so much. And from that year, 1998, I've been trying to recruit Hamilton to join Gijima. And because of COVID, when the moon and the stars get aligned, no man can stop what is meant to be. And I can tell you, the baton from Mapum to Hamilton has been so good. And in Hamilton, we found somebody that could take Gijima to greater heights. And the Gijima of today, where you dare imagine and imagine it done, is the culture that Hamilton has brought. Last Saturday morning, I was due to fly to Cape Town. And for some reason, I kept on telling my pilot that we'll leave an hour late. It was until Roberta called me. When you receive a call from your daughter and is crying, you as a parent, you start crying, finding out what is wrong. And she told me, she says, just received a call from Sis Mapule advising us of the untimely passing of our leader. It has been unbelievable ever since. It hit me very hard, but like a leader, you need to lead your flock. It was only this morning that it really dawned on me that I'll be speaking at this event and Hamilton will not be physically present. Ham, as I called him, not only touched my life, but touched so many lives of people working in the industry. Hamilton was well adored by staff, clients, and partners alike. Hamilton never demanded respect. He commanded respect. Hamilton was smart. He was decisive in his decision-making, prepared to take calculated risk. At Gijima, he left us with a new game. He changed Gijima. This morning, I sent the following message to the board and EXCO of Gijima. It is only beginning to sink in that Ham will no longer be physically with us. This is the first time that I'm faced with having to bury one of my greatest, smartest executives. A resignation or firing an executive, one can accept, but death is so difficult to accept. In life, we are never prepared for this. Hamilton's passing has gutted me tenfold. It is a personal and Gijima's greatest loss. Financial loss you can live with because you can recover. I am thinking about our last one-on-one conversation at the Sentin Convention Center in February before I went on stage to address, very importantly, his staff and management team who were gathered and others connected online. I was there because he invited me. He repeated to me his vision and plan that he was executing. He told me his EXCO is now ready to execute even more since everyone knows what to do in terms of the new strategy for growth of Gijima. We agreed on a 3-year strategy to improve Gijima. No more 1 week, no more 1 or 2 days, but a 3-year. And he set the agenda. Hamilton has been the first and the only one CEO that I've appointed in all my group of companies that has ever said, Chair, you will not need to put any cent more into the business. You have put in over $1 billion of your hard-earned family money. This is your time to reap the rewards. And he lived to that. I've never received a call from Ronnie as a financial director saying, I'm running short of paying salaries, which used to happen before. They never went to collect money. I was their bank. And Hamilton said, they are thieves when they take my money. And we spoke about how Gijima was going to grow. You know me, I like buying things. There were 2 companies for sale, and Hamilton said, don't buy that rubbish. We need to get out of businesses with low margins. We need to focus on high margin business for sustainability of the company. And we planned to say that in 3 years, we'll go and relist the company on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. That was his plan. That became my plan, which is Gijima's plan. As we always say, because I don't want to take too long, Jesus' success in the world, when his life was taken away, has been his disciples that he appointed, who continue to spread the God's word to the masses. We have a universal word of God today. Hamilton preached his new Gijima vision and planned its execution. To you as his management, stroke disciples, to spread the word of the new Gijima vision and strategy plan, and most importantly, to deliver to clients and to the board and to shareholders. Each one of you have been entrusted with the responsibility to spread the word, inverted commas, being the new strategy without faith. You have to prove your worth by honoring your commitment and achieve the milestones you personally and collectively agreed with him, our GCE. Today, as we celebrate, not mourn his life, we must remember all the game-changing things he shared with us. His life and management style should inspire all of us to do more and on time for our clients, staff, and the board. Tomorrow, we will allow him safe passage to his Maker, but his soul shall live with and within us. We will honor his legacy through sticking to the Gijima plan and execute it on time and make sure that we remain profitable. His ideas and legacy cannot be buried tomorrow. We agreed with him that we will not pursue commoditized businesses, but have more focus on profitable business. We have to continue to live and follow his legacy. We meet today, you have to think back. Va was J when there was Lichabile. Va was J when there was Mutswedi. Va was J when there was Choice. Va was J when there was Arivia.com. It's an indictment on us. That Gijima, 29 years later, is the only survivor of elite black companies in the new South Africa. I'm standing here not celebrating because it shouldn't be just Gijima. It should have been all the others that I've mentioned. And to say to black business, don't focus on money. When you make profit, reinvest it in your business, because that's the only way you can sustain your business. Hamilton started his own business in Cornerstone and grew the business, and then he sold it. Thanks that he sold his business, because he would not have been with Gijima. But what is very important is that Hamilton only worked for 3 companies in his life. That was in IT in particular. IBM, his first job, Cornerstone, and Gijima. We are honored to have had him spend the last year with us, and he has been a most impactful leader in Gijima. Because of him, and the fact that I had now a swan, a sleep well at night, because Gijima has been my trouble baby. And I think management were taking advantage knowing that Toves can go down, our rail business can go down, but never Gijima. That's why they will always connive and ask for more money from me. But when Hamilton came, as you know, I've been doing business in Africa and internationally, and I've not been able to do what I wanted to do because I needed to be closer to Gijima. Since he came, I've been able to establish our international business headquartered in Mauritius, and it was because of Hamilton. Since he passed on, I've been in the country. All the work that I've been doing internationally has been disturbed because Hamilton is not there. But he leaves us on a sound platform with a plan that has been executed, a plan that we monitor every day, and I cannot wait, Sylvester and Ronnie, to receive my dividend at the end of June. But we say to the family and you, Sis Mapuni, you have not lost Hamilton, but you've gained an angel to look over you. He lives with and he lives. Thank you very much.
Like a kindness gone too soon. Oh, that's twinkling over. And sparkling, splendidly bright, here one day and gone in one night. Like the laws of sunlight on a cloudy afternoon, gone too soon.
Gone too soon indeed. Thank you for that very soothing melody and very appropriate words. You know, when you're a Christian, you are supposed to accept a lot of things, right? Because it's Christ-like. But when you listen to words like that, you know, it's irreconcilable. So thank you. I am going to ask that while we celebrate Mr. H's life, particularly when we are serenaded in song, we stand, we sing along, and we dance. The only exception I'm going to make is for the family for obvious reasons. If we can do that. You look very somber. I don't think that the energy that Mr. H had is not in our blood in one form or the other. So, Mr. G spoke about Mr. H's customer centricity. And the presence of some of our customers in the room is proof of that. Some will tell you that he reset the tone in as far as our relationships were concerned. And when you were in a room with him, you almost can only understand it when you were in a room with him to understand the level of calm that he would bring, even at a negotiating table where terms were not making sense. So we're going to flight a video of some of the customer tributes, just to give you a sense of who the man was, and we appreciate the videos. Thanks.
Glenda Wheeler, and I had the privilege of being Hamilton's mentor when he joined IBM. I think it was approximately 1989, and I was barely older in the job than he. And IBM encouraged us to look after our protégés, and it became competitive amongst the mentors to try to get our protégé to advance faster than others. And so Hamilton and I spent a lot of time getting him into the job, getting him through his training, looking for opportunities for him. He actually took my position at the client, Edgar's, that I was working for at that time. And we stayed in touch all these years. In '97, I started my own company, and our careers coincided a few more times after that. And during his years as general manager of IBM, we had a number of meetings together. And Hamilton was always so welcoming, so kind. He ensured that things went smoothly. And it's with great heartsore that I learned of the passing of Hamilton. I offer my condolences to his family, to his colleagues. If I were to encapsulate what Hamilton was to me, it was a man of extreme integrity. And I thank you for giving me this opportunity to say a few words.
Hamilton, we'll really miss you. He was a really true friend to me when I joined the South African team. I learned so much from him, tackling adversity with a smile, being nice to people. He was abundantly generous with his time, a really good heart, really decent person. I got a lot of South African driving tips from Hamilton. For some reason, I always seem to ended up catching lifts from him on the way back from customers and conferences, and he was full of tips on how this English guy should survive driving the freeways and the roads in South Africa. So always with very good humour. I was in South Africa recently, and I went to see him at his offices in Gijima. He was really proud to tell me all of the stuff he'd been doing to re-engineer the company, to move their offices. And albeit it was a Friday afternoon, and I had 45 minutes, I think we spent almost 2 hours together, right up to 5 o'clock. I commented to a friend of mine afterwards how he didn't rush me out, just had plenty of time and always a big smile and a big hug. So we miss you, mate. Gone too soon. All the best. May you rest in peace.
Hi, my name is Friendy, Partner Director at Huawei. On behalf of our colleagues here at Huawei, we would like to express our sincere condolence to the Gijima and the family of Mr. Hamilton. Throughout my history at Huawei working with many partners, I have met plenty of personalities, characters, and people, but none as dedicated, driven, and ambitious as Hamilton. People gravitated towards him. People wanted to be in his sphere of influence. We always respected him as a great leader and a hard worker. We will be greatly missed by all who had the pleasure of knowing him. When we met for the first time in 2022, we immediately became friends. We shared many dinners, great South Africa wine, long top business conversation, and many happy family stories, which I will miss the most. As the CEO of one of our strategic partner, Gijima, this is a great loss, not only to the ICT industries, but to South Africa as a whole. Legacy is a very overused word these days. It seems that everyone and everything has to have one, but with Hamilton, it's true. He has left behind a very real legacy, which will affect the way we do things at Huawei and Gijima for a very long time. On a personal level, every one of us who know Hamilton and worked alongside him, whether things were going well or badly, will remember him with a great affection. When all is said and done, however much you like your work, it's the people that you meet in it that really matter, and leaders like Hamilton are something very special. You don't come across many of them, and when you do, they leave a lasting impression. Hamilton, we really going to miss you. May you rest in peace.
Hello everyone, this is Ning, one of the directors from Huawei. I'm deeply sad and so hard to hear about the breaking news about the loss of Mr. Hamilton. We have been never forgotten the impression he made on us as an intelligent and humble person, as well as the generic friends. I would like to express my remembrance of him and to celebrate the life of a dear friend with a long-standing partner of Huawei. At this hard moment, I also would like to pass my condolences to his family and friends. This is difficult to summarize his contribution to us. His dedication, hard work, and commitment has been all acknowledged by all of us. I still remember the first day when I met him personally in 2017 through one of the projects. We are working so hardly to close the project through even we worked in different organizations as a solution partner. There are many things happening during the past years. Till to end of the last month, we just successfully bring the project on track together. And I'm still waiting for the celebration moment after his discharge from the hospital. He will be deeply missed, and his memory and legacy will still stay with us. I would like to say, my friend, rest in peace. You will always be remembered with love and our respect.
Dear friends, colleagues, and family, I must first begin with acknowledging Mrs. RATSHEFOLA, Mapule, your sons and daughters. Our deepest condolences to you during this time. We recognize that Hamilton's family was his rock, his support system, and the driving force behind his success. Our thoughts and prayers are with you during this difficult time, and we hope that you will find comfort in the memories that are shared of the impact of Hamilton's remarkable life. Firstly, all honor to God, because that was Hamilton's central core. It's what he drove him to care for the people he led and provide a solid foundation for how he would do business. He believed in leading with integrity, and his faith was the foundation that allowed that commitment to live on even when things were difficult. Today we gather to reflect on the life and legacy of Hamilton, the past country general manager of IBM Sub-Saharan Africa. Hamilton was a leader with an entrepreneurial spirit that was contagious to all those around him. He was a man who loved a good fight, never backed down from a challenge, and his ability to think creatively and find innovative solutions is one of the things that I believe I will forever take with me.
Hamilton is a gem of a wonderful person. He's a true South African. We spent a wonderful time with him and his wife in Vienna. God should put mercy on him.
Dear friends and family of Hamilton, I share the deep sense of sadness and loss that I know you must all be feeling today. Hamilton was not only a colleague and mentor of mine at work, but also a very dear and true friend. When I worked at IBM, he served as the Chief Executive Officer, and I worked as the Chief Operating Officer. He always inspired with his confidence, his optimism, his solution-minded approach, and the happiness that he exuded always radiated through. I know that he was a very confident and joyful person because he enjoyed your unwavering friendship, love, and support. It was evident to all of us at IBM that Hamilton was very proud of his family, his wife Mapule and his children, and his extended family members and friends. He would often speak about his wife setting up her current psychology practice, and he would joke with me that he was simply the driver. He was so fond of his kids and proud of their achievements, but always with the greatest of humility.
Basuga baezwe eni ona beshu maela basuga baezwe basuga baezwe
lost that for good energy. I've got 2 left feet, so I dance any day to any song. That's my signature, Gijima. It's a privilege and an honor to introduce the next speaker to you. And allow me to really thank all the video messages that were sent. I understand that they took time, but when you want to do your last act of service to the man who would do the same for you, that's what you do. You take time for the person that you knew would take time for you. So we are highly indebted to all of you, and we will keep rolling them and when time permits. No, I sort of felt like I was having a mini reunion today because the next speaker is my ex-boss in my other life. She's currently the chairperson of SITA, Ms. Makano Musidi. I'm very pleasured to introduce you to speak today, just to pay tribute to Hamilton.
Afternoon, and Mulebogeng for that kind introduction. Ibile Kileboghale, the good singing with quite appropriate lyrics befitting to Hamilton. The RATSHEFOLA family, industry at large, I've seen a lot of ex-colleagues and current colleagues. And I just felt like, yes, it was about maybe 20 years ago, those who were with us. I started with Hamilton in 1989 during the time of ISM, IBM. And, you know, I didn't write it down this, but as Robert was talking, I just remembered Hamilton's accent. I just remembered when we were so young, and I think we were part of a graduate program. And he was rolling, and I was looking at him and said, "But who are you, and where do you come from?" He said, "I'm Hamilton. You know, you got to see this thing. You got to live up to it. You know." And you know, and when they started channeling us into different roles, so I went on to the programming side, and he went into sales. I didn't even quite understand what sales is. I think generally you just get scared of sales, you know. And he called me and said, bad choice. I said, and then he said, watch me after a year. And trust me, to cut a long story short, after a year he called me, he said, my salary today is over 9 digits, Makan. I'm going to buy an apartment for cash. You will continue to rent in Hillbrow. We're all in Hillbrow. And yeah, and you know, I just remembered now when Robert was talking that, yeah, that is Hamilton oozing with energy and confidence all the time. He was going to sell mainframes, which we just lent there, so he was actually going to convince people to do that, and he successfully did it, which is quite a good lesson to me. I think to the RATSHEFOLA family, we'll never know your pain. We'll never say we feel it, but I think all of us, we have lost a loved one at one point or another, and it is quite a painful process, but I'll only say condolences. Your loss is a great loss to everyone who's in here today. So to Mapula and the children, our condolences very sincerely. To Robert and his Gijima family, I've learned today that we call them Gijimite. Is it Gijimite? Yeah, Gijimite. Hamilton was happy to be a Gijimite. He would call and he was really looking up. I mean, he told me a whole lot of things that I shared with you. I don't want to share them here, but I think Gijima was on the rise. I think all of us who are hungry for a success that we can sustain as a black community, I think we are. Especially in the new dawn of South Africa, we want to do that. And I think when I looked at him, I just thought, he's going to make it. And he told me, yes, I am making it, Makan. There will be a dividend paid somewhere one day, very soon. And I think Robert alluded to that. So it means he meant it. Like I said, I started with Hamilton in 1989. And we have pretty much kept in contact since then. But I could see him having such an impactful stature in the industry. And I think all of us, and I know I speak for all of us, when that big tree fell on, I learned it fell on Friday. I think for me, it fell on Saturday. A friend called me and said, have you heard? Are you still driving? And I said, yeah, I'm driving. And he said, a giant has fallen, and I could feel the thud of a tree. And I think for me, I know that we all felt the shock. And I will just share with you our last discussions when we were just talking, because we all know he personified what one would call unity of life. What am I saying when I say unity of life? You are the same. You love God at home, you love God at work, how you treat people, how you treat your products, how you treat your clients. You'll try all the time to be the honest and the fair person that you are. And that's what Hamilton was. So I could really relate to him. He would never make you feel like, look, you're stupid, you chose this route, you could have been a salesperson. No, it was all really in jest. So I think because of what we spoke about, please allow me just 2 minutes just to talk about CETA, because I do chair CETA. And maybe when we think about CETA, we just think about this thorn, which perhaps it's supposed to rise a whole lot more, and maybe it's not. But I do think that we are at a point where it is our time to make it rise. And I stand here, firstly, I'd like to thank everyone who responded when we advertised for the role. Hamilton called and said, are you serious? Do you want a CEO? And I said, yes, I do. Have you taken the role? Yes, I have. And he said, look, Makanu, you will. If you want to, you will. And I just want to thank everyone. I mean, we had, I'll just talk for 2 minutes. We had over 100 applicants showing an interest in that organization. Talented people came through, and I think it gave us all courage as a board. People applied, and they actually were visioning and very aspirational about CETA. Unfortunately, we just had one role to fill. So I just want to say thank you to those people, even those that we couldn't actually shortlist. They were all very capable, and it couldn't have been otherwise. And I'm standing here because I'm talking to industry. And because when I spoke to Hamilton, he said to me, Magan, I'm taking over, I'm going to be in Gijima. I think he said 2 days a week or something. And I even thought, it doesn't make sense, Hamilton. That's a big, big ship. How are you going to do that in 2 days? But of course, Hamilton is Hamilton. Maybe he's a party maker. He can do those things. And he said to me, if you are willing, I am willing too. Because I think we will have to do right what could have gone wrong. But I will start with Gijima, and by the time I come to you, these are the things we'll talk about. I won't mention them, but cloud was one of them. just how we can re-architect ourselves. I haven't had the plan yet, but he had said to me he had a solution. I'm hoping that he jotted it down somewhere. Yeah, I'm hoping that he did, because I think it is something that we all need. But to the industry here this afternoon, we would like to rise. I think as a country, we're hungry for success. And I think as SETA, we are hell-bent on making it successful. We are looking at you. We'll never create solutions ourselves, but we will co-create with you. And that's what we're looking for. It's not like we can solve the problems of this country, but with the likes of yourselves, we would like to. And I think, like I said, I'll just touch on that just a little bit, purely because when I was talking with him, he said, Makano, we will never change the world, but let's change our world. And I said, say more, and he said, yeah, wherever you are, wherever I am, let's make it good. So go and do your best there, and I'm doing my best here, but we are there to support you, and thank you. So I think as I close, I think Gijima, you know, as much as I know, yes, you have lost Hamilton, but I think industry has lost Hamilton too. I think his footprints will kind of be permanent. I think it's quite sad to talk about him in this way, but I think he taught us quite a bit. And for me, what was more important about him is just his courage. He was courageous, but he was a straight thinker. He was logical. He would say, but Makano, if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. I could never work here and here because they will never understand if I say it's red, because they want me to say it's blue. And that's how he was. And I think I'll miss it mostly. To the family, stay strong. To the industry, I think Robert mentioned the many companies that came when the new dispensation started and that have maybe disappeared or have blended into other areas of our industry. But I still say, I don't lose hope. And I don't want us to think that we'll lose hope. What am I hoping for? I'm hoping that we will be as stable as we want to be. I'm hoping that as SETA will create wealth, not riches, but wealth. And what I mean is, you know, we'll be able to clear the blockages that we have. Maybe schools will be connected, hospitals will be connected, rural areas they will be able to serve like we do in the urban areas. So that is the wealth I'm talking about, because once you have that, I think you can all continue to actually create your own wealth, not where one person is actually taking it all. So I'm looking forward to that engagement as we continue. And I'm sure most of us, we know that at the end, we have been able to appoint an MD who is permanent in SETA, and I'm hoping that we'll start engaging with industry. And from me, personally, I think I'm still looking up. And I just want to invite everyone, let's be the new dawn. You know, let's maybe not look on and look for a new dawn, but rather, let's be the new dawn ourselves in our own world, like Hamilton said. Not maybe to change the world, but to change our own world. I thank you.
Thank you, Osmakano, for those tribute. I'm feeling like I'm at home because I'm also about to introduce to you my other former boss, who by coincidence had taken over from this boss who had just left the podium a little bit petite in stature, very soft-spoken, but then a technocrat, an IT technocrat. Bobandelani, I'm not Venda, I'm gonna try, right? It's sounding right in my head, so work with me. Lorewa Kamanda for being here today, taking time out from your EXCO meeting today. We had a young catch-up out in the foyer, you know, lamenting, celebrating. And, you know, he was like, what am I gonna say? And I say, speak about your friend. And Mr. Pandelani, come to the podium and speak about your friend, Mr. Hamilton RATSHEFOLA. There's also a phone that was left in one of the bathrooms. If anybody is missing a phone, you can just let us know.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, I don't know what to say. Maybe I should just go back to the stand or to my seat and take a rest. When I received the call from the chairman, Mr. Robert Gumete, of the untimely passing away of our colleague, our friend, our partner, I was really at a loss of words. I didn't know what to say. He knows what I said to him. And subsequent to that, I then passed the message to our EXCO members, informing them of what happened. All of them were really shocked. And the only messages that I received via WhatsApp was just to say, oh dear, what are we going to do? Let me start by saying that this man was not an ordinary person. Just as a background, we happened to debate some years ago when we were at university.